Welcome back, everybody, to the Last Meg podcast. I am your host, Primal, and in today's episode, guys, let's break down the Major 2 DreamHack tournament, and I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on how the tournament went overall, what teams definitely need to make changes, and how I felt the tournament went overall. So, starting Friday, we had 8 matches. We had 2 play-ins and then 6 first round then three, sorry, we had 2 play-ins, 4 first win around 1 games, and then 2 elimination games. So when we look at, if you guys pull up my bracket, which I did on the previous podcast episode, you will know that I predicted correctly Koi, Jailmates, OpTic, G2, FaZe, and now let's talk about Heretics versus Jailmates. So Jailmates were struggling a little bit. They were definitely not the looking good coming into Major 2 with all the drama coming into it, and so when they got into playing, I thought, okay, Heretics have been our second seed. They're there for a reason. But when you watched them play, they were not playing like how you would think they would be playing, and they were literally, um, it's like the Heretics just looked lost, flat, confused, like not themselves whatsoever. Um, and that does come with some major serious questions for me because Heretics almost get to game 5, and it's like if Heretics had been able to get to game 5, do we think that Heretics might have been able to move on? And if that would have been the case, like how would FaZe what would have been the potential case of FaZe versus Heretics if Heretics would have made it to Saturday? Um, But Heretics, they get bounced 3-1 down to Jailmates. And I will say there were some insane hard points all throughout the weekend long. And I want to just say what treats some of them really were. Um, so the next series I want to talk with you guys about is the Thieves versus Heretics. Oh, not Thieves. Sorry, guys. Thieves versus FaZe series. Now, this one, it goes game 5, and it's a game 5 round 10. Or is it round 9? No, it's around 10. Sorry. Uh, oh, sorry. So it's a game 5 round 10 win for FaZe. Now, what happened is Thieves, they literally bippity bopped FaZe in the first 2 maps, and I'm like, oh boy, FaZe is in trouble. Like, you cannot drop a map. You need seriously lock in. Like, don't sell anything. Like, just play like you're literally on your last tournament life and all. And that's exactly how they played. Like, they had a dominant, and I will say dominant series win after reverse sweeping Thieves. And everyone kept calling for O4 to get dropped. And I, O4 is the tournament MVP. It's like he showed why he should still be on FaZe. And I will say, yeah, he is still him. Like, he, under heavy pressure, he can perform. Like, literally, heavy performance doesn't scare him whatsoever. So it's like, it's good to see O4 fry and get his championship win, which I will talk with you guys in a second. So FaZe move on. They'll play Jailmates on Saturday. Now, moving up, we have G2 versus Falcons. And let's talk about Falcons quickly. As you can see from the bracket, Falcons did not even win a single map this past weekend. And it was very sad to see because you would think that Falcons would have been able to get something going, but nope, not the case. G2 move on. They'll play OpTic on Saturday. And now let's talk about OpTic versus Koi. Koi definitely played OpTic in a pretty close series. Like map 1 was definitely close, and then the rest of the series was just a runaway. I think map 2 was also close as well. I'd have to double check. But either which way, OpTic get done in a nice 3-0 slam, and they'll move on to play G2. Now let's move down to the losers bracket. We have Koi versus Falcons. I thought, okay, Falcons, they're pissed. They're going to get something going. Nope. Toronto literally steamrolled them, run them over, not even close. So I'm like, wow. Okay, yeah. Now, it's like, I wouldn't be too surprised if we see Falcons make a major roster change or even a change of some kind before going into Major 3. And speaking of which, chat, hang on a second. So, as I was saying, we have 2 weeks off before Major 3. We've got this weekend off and we got next weekend off. Now, for the next podcast episode, I hope to get I'm going to work with Payback to get him more, fingers crossed, into the next podcast episode because I definitely want to talk with him about the season and how it's going and get his thoughts on it. So, all right. So, yeah. Let's get back to the losers bracket. All right, so Heretics versus Thieves. I'm like, okay, Heretics, Thieves, game 5. Nope. 3-0, slam. Heretics go home. I'm like Heretics just look flat deflated. They couldn't even get anything going on the map. Like, I was flabbergasted that the teams couldn't get anything going for Falcons or Heretics. Like, I feel like the Jailmates series could have seriously impacted the Heretics' mental. Like, they felt like they should have won that series. But they get sent home. Thieves move on. So, now let's talk about Saturday. So, Saturday, OpTic versus G2. G2, I seriously thought they might have been able to try and get a map win or two off of OpTic, but nope. It was a lights out. I believe map 1 was also close. So overall, it was a really well fought series. OpTic at this point, I'm like, oh my gosh, if you guys go 3-0 in winners final, I will literally lose my marbles because I've never seen a team do flawless back-to-back, not drop a map series before. I think we might have seen it before, like from Cold War FaZe, I think. But either which way, dominant on the main stage from OpTic. Now, FaZe versus Jailmates. Whew. Yeah, this series this felt like it was a pub stomping at some points, and I will say Jailmates definitely tried to challenge FaZe a bit, but when you go to raid S&D and you see FaZe literally 6-0 slam you, probably on one of Jailmates' better maps for search and destroy, you're like, oh yeah. Like, that's not slammage. That's I've got words for that, but yeah. yeah. Um, Now let's move down to the losers bracket for Saturday. Um, Koi versus Gelmates. I thought this one would be definitely game 5 and Gelmates would seal the deal. No. Nope. Koi, they steal all the respawns, I believe. And then Gelmates steal the search. But still. Um it was a well fought victory for Koi, and Koi's actually definitely made a dark horse run at the tournament, even though there were not 12 teams there. Um, Koi gained their top. When we get Saturday, I'll talk about that, but still, Koi definitely strong team. Definitely need to be moved up into the power rankings when I do that after breaking down the rest of the weekend. And I will say, insight for the interview when he literally repeats the whole viral clip of what we think of LG. That clip and all, I'm not going to say it just because it's a bit disrespectful. But it's also just him trying to recreate history and all. I thought it was really funny. But yeah. Now, let's talk about G2 versus Thieves. I'm like, okay, definitely not the banger. Definitely could see a map 5. Nope. Thieves. The only map that G2 steals off of Thieves is the Colossus Search and Destroy. But outside that, it's like, oh my gosh, you literally beat the living snot out of G2 on some of their best maps. Like Kremp on Kremp losses couldn't really get anything going. Like he just looked lost in the sauce, seriously. Like nothing for him to get going on. It was bad. Now let's move on to Sunday. I'm going to start with the losers of Koi versus Thieves, and this guys was a masterclass by Kleenex and Insight and really everyone on the Koi team. They 3-0 choke slam Thieves, like choke slam, and it's not even close. Like the only map I think was close was the Overload, but outside that, it was insanity. So going move on, they are for top 3. Now let's move up to winners finals. So OpTic versus the OpTic Thieves. Oops. OpTic versus FaZe. Now this one I thought, okay, we definitely could have a series on our hand. So OpTic take maps 1 and 2, then wait, no, sorry. No, sorry. OpTic takes map 1, 3, and 4. In FaZe steal map 2, I think it was around 11 as well, or it was a 6-3 or something. But it was still a search and destroy off of OpTic, and they make OpTic's flawless run of not dropping the map. Like they break that streak. So it's like, woof, okay. So at this point, OpTic's 9-1 on map count, so it's like, okay. But in the respawns, it was just pure dominance from OpTic, and I'm like, oh, but even if FaZe do get to grand finals, I don't see them winning because of OpTic's respawn prowess. And I'm like, okay, now when we get to grand finals, I'll talk about it. Now, FaZe versus Koi, this was an absolute banger. Koi almost had FaZe multiple times for map-wise to steal and stuff. So I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere. Like, am I about to see a masterclass slash murder from Koi, and Koi goes on to grand finals? But no. Map 1 was a 250-240 hardpoint win on Den, and it was a come from behind win for FaZe on it. I'm like, oh my goodness, gravy. Okay. And then Koi, they steal the search and destroy. I'm like, okay. Koi just playing differently. And then FaZe, they take the overload on exposure, I believe it was. And then, no, exposure was map 4 hardpoint. I forget what it was for overload, but either which way, what is to be noted about is map 4 almost went to game 5 because it was a 230-250 hardpoint victory for FaZe. So yeah, it was definitely a major win for FaZe. Like, they're riding that hype train. Now, let's move on to grand finals. And this, ladies and gentlemen, was an absolute banger of a series. Because opening map, you literally have FaZe steal the hardpoint right out of the noses of OpTic. Like, OpTic's leading in map 1, and it's like, oh my gosh, okay, we're about to see something big happen. So FaZe steal map 1. I'm like, okay. And in the back of my head, I'm like, I still got OpTic winning, even though I've been a FaZe supporter. I was like, I still don't have confidence. But really, when I finish up in second for grand finals, I'll talk about the team and all. But either which way, OpTic, they steal map 2. And going into the overload, it's tied 3-3. You go into overtime, and Shotzi literally sells the whole map for OpTic, and FaZe end up winning it. Like, it comes down to a 1v1. I think it was 04, and he has pistol versus, I think it was Dashy, I think. And 04 just guns him with the pistol. I'm like, oh my good gravy, Batman. Okay, yeah, we've got something here now. Like, I was just blown my mind away. And then we hop into a hardpoint exposure, and this one was absolutely incredible to watch. Again, FaZe did what OpTic did to them on exposure for winners finals, and FaZe, they're up at this point 3-1. And I'm like, no way FaZe just wins Major 2. And I will talk about what this means for FaZe in a second. We go to exposure again, but it's a game 5, round 11 in a way. And this series was so back and forth in search and destroy. It was nail biting. Like, to see FaZe be able to bring back the search and destroy when OpTic's on match point of 5-4. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. At least it wasn't a 5-0 and FaZe literally full sales OpTic, because if that happened, I was going to just get up out of my seat and lose my marbles. But either which way, it was a well-fought series. GG's to FaZe for winning Major 2. Definitely well-deserved. So hang on a second, guys. So here's what the pricing is. FaZe, they get an extra 100 points. So they make up for a lot of the deficit for the matches they lost online and stuff. And now let's talk about FaZe and what Major 2 means. So from MW2, MW3, Black Ops 6 and now Black Ops 7. They are your 4-time defending Major 2 champions, as well as your 2-time back-to-back EU Major 2. No, sorry. Major 1 was EU, Major 2 was OpTic, sorry. But either which way, FaZe is on a back-to-back EU championship. And I have to say, it's absolutely incredible and crazy to think about, because I have not heard of a team being able to defend their Major 2 or a title for 4 years in a row. Like, that is pure dominance. Like, yeah, 3 out of 4 are with the FaZe trio, but still, when the FaZe trio broke up, for FaZe to still do that and still get the win, it tells me that FaZe is cooking. It's like, if FaZe can keep cooking, we are in for something for Champs 2026. So definitely got a lot to think about, chat. I should take a picture of what the standings were too. Whoops. Okay, I'll do that in the power rankings and stuff. But either which way, this is the first championship win for 04 in Abuza. And I will say, people are sleeping on Abuza. Like, Abuza was extremely dark horse. Like, he was that catalytic player of being able to hit the snipes or get the trades and search. It's like 04 was your MVP major winner for Major 2. Like, he was dominant. Like, Simp even showed why he is him, of why you don't have to worry. But still, this was absolutely cinematic, and I can't wait for the docu-series to come out for FaZe, for OpTic, and I'm curious to see about the Thieves one. Oh, I also forgot, guys. When FaZe versus Thieves played, Abizi started in the first hardpoint 1-15. He was on the Zuma 4-23 stat line almost, because Abizi couldn't even get anything done. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I will say map 1 again for FaZe versus Thieves was a incredible comeback for Thieves. It was pure cinema, and I was just like, oh my gosh, if I really wish that FaZe would have won the map 1, just so I could have seen if someone had clipped Nade Shot if he was live stream watching Major 2 and all. But either which way, definitely Roster Mania coming soon. I know we've got Easter this weekend, so hope everybody has a great Easter if you celebrate. Great weekend overall if you don't. I will be live Saturday or Sunday, well, Friday or Saturday, with a special set for you guys, so be on the lookout for that. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, peace out.